آمنوا أن تخشع قلوبهم لذكر الله وما نزل من الحق ولا يكونوا كالذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبل فطال عليهم الأمد فقست قلوبهم وكثير منهم فاسقون.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sister, and welcome back to the Soul on a Mission series, where we're talking about 4 elements: your calling, your journey, the woman, and the purpose. The calling is the calling on your soul, and the journey is the journey that you have to undertake to fulfill that calling. And the woman that you need to become, to work and grow into in order to undertake that journey. And the purpose, the ultimate purpose on your soul, living out your life as a means of ibadah. So we've covered the topic of your calling as a soul in several of the last videos. And now we're in the journey section, okay? Where we're going to focus on the tools, the mindset, the actions that we need to undertake in order to traverse the journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to truly live out our calling, which is ibadah, and to become someone whose life is a confirmation of your original witnessing. So we're now in the journey section, where we'll focus on the tools, the mindset, the actions that we need to traverse in order to really take this journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to live out our calling, which is ibadah, right? To become someone whose life is a confirmation of your original witnessing. Now, the journeys to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and unearthing and cultivating and fully living as your highest self, this is a journey that requires personal courage and commitment. It requires that you become the hero in your own life, and eventually, through traversing this path, you can become a light for others, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Now, this is something that I've long spoken about, becoming the hero in your own life. And mashallah tabarakallah, years ago I actually came across some literature on what's called the hero's journey. And basically, after studying various religions and stories and events throughout history, the author concluded that every great person in history, every person of consequence, had come through a similar path, which he called the hero's journey. And it's a process of awareness, of setting out, of gaining mentorship, of dealing with the tests and the adversities that come along the path, as well as finding allies, right? Overcoming your fears, and so on and so forth, until you have that major encounter that allows you to really test and show your strength and your growth. And in the process, you become a newer, stronger, more wise, and more beneficial and more powerful version of yourself. Now, there are 12 phases of this journey. And when mapping it against the journeys of the various prophets, right, against the journeys of righteous people, even people in various secular fields, you can literally see the development in each of those stages. They track along with those stages of the hero's journey, even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the same is true for you. Now, these stages ring true because they simply document the human condition and the sunnah of Allah. The sunnah of Allah that He takes people through as He prepares them for something bigger. Now, I teach an entire year-long course on this with examples pulled from figures and examples in the Quran and Sunnah and Islamic history. And I've coined this the Islamic hero's journey, because as a soul, we go on a similar journey to really actualize our calling, to live out our purpose. So in this and future videos, I'll be highlighting some of those stages in an abbreviated way to really help you to understand the context that we'll be moving in, inshallah ta'ala. So we kicked off the journey section. We did, again, the calling, and we kicked off the journey section in the last video, discussing a critical tool to have in your backpack, which is tawakkul, right? Tawakkul is critical for having success and staying power on the journey. And in the video before that, we spoke about tapping into and really listening to and heeding your soul whispers, that voice inside of you that is prodding you, that is whispering and sometimes even screaming for you to stretch yourself and grow in some way. So these two elements, listening to that inner wisdom and leaning into tawakkul, are aligned with the first few stages of the hero's journey, which are number one, being in your ordinary environment, right? Starting out with the status quo, right? You're in your normal environment, things are normal around you, or so you think. Then number two, as the soul whispers intensify, you hear stage two, the call to adventure. You're being pulled towards something or away from something, right? There's a tangible opportunity that is set out in front of you in pursuit of fulfilling the calling on your soul. Now, this is the stage where, just as described in the Soul Whispers video, you start to feel just kind of uncomfortable with things as they are, right? The status quo doesn't really feel like it fits anymore. You may recognize things that need to change, either within you or around you, or you can feel called to grow or learn or travel or contribute in some way. But at this stage, you're still kind of unsure and a bit hesitant. And then there's stage three, which is a refusal of the call. And most people initially, due to fear, even though they're feeling those soul whispers, they refuse the call, okay? Either through fear or insecurity or imposter syndrome. Basically, they try to shut it down, right? Shut those soul whispers down and ignore that call to grow or move out into a new direction, right? Have you ever felt that? Like sometimes your soul is calling you to something. You can feel that you need to either make a clean break from something or go into something or, seek something out, but you feel hesitant, you feel fearful. So you try to shut it down and act like you don't hear what you're hearing from your soul. We all go through that. But then there's the stage where you meet the mentor, right? And for those watching, inshallah ta'ala, I pray that Allah will use me to support you in some way along your journey. So in the hero's journey, the hero in training meets a mentor. And that mentor instills, at least a shaky level of confidence that indeed they are the person for this job. They are the one being called. They do have the potential to fulfill this calling and these whispers that they're hearing, right? And this mentor agrees to walk alongside them on this journey, to guide them and to support them and to help them as they gain their strength, as they learn and gain new skills with which to traverse the path. And alhamdulillah, this is a role that I've been blessed to serve for many sisters over the last 19 years by Allah's permission. And it's always a joy to see them just coming into themselves and growing in clarity and strength and iman and tawakkul, and realizing that they are, in fact, the hero of their story, alhamdulillah. So when the budding hero is finally convinced that they are, in fact, being called, right? This is the stage that the hero finally heeds the call, and it's called crossing the first threshold, okay? They're going to cross the door. This is the point of no return, and I call this setting out on the path. This is where you make a firm decision, a firm niyyah, a firm intention to move forward on whatever journey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling you to. And this is basically, again, this is the point of no return. At this point, you're clear even if you're still afraid. You're willing, even if you're still unsure. You just know that you have to move, right? You take those first hesitant steps out of your ordinary world, out of your comfort zone, right? Knowing that if you persevere, then things will never be quite the same again. But you can't bear the pain of standing still, of tamping down that whisper, of checking out on your potential. So you move forward to answer the call of your soul. Now, some of you may be at this stage right now, right? Which is where you have likely a bit, uncertainly decided to move ahead with some goal, some idea, some project, or some life change. For some sisters, it will be decisions about marriage and relationships. For others, major decisions about school or career. For some, it will be about moving to a certain area, and for others, it will be about a business move or an opportunity. Writing a book, getting serious about your handcrafts or your art, working to learn Arabic, studying the Quran, and other forms of ilm. It could be health decisions, financial decisions, life decisions. Things to take on, causes to champion, projects to start, and a big one, things to let go of. Because very often that's the hardest journey, where we're moving away from something and not sure of what's in front of us. So when you're stepping out on this path, these are things that are pointing you towards the next evolution of who you are, of who you're meant to be, bi'idhnillah. And it will provide an opportunity, this journey, to lean more deeply into the calling on your soul, right? Your calling as a believing soul. And that's one clue. If this journey, if these soul whispers do not provide the opportunity for you to lean more deeply into your calling as a believing soul, the calling to ibadah, to your original witnessing, then it may not truly be your soul whispers. Maybe whispers from your nafs, from shaitan, or pressure from your environment and those in it. So now you set out on the path, and this is where tawakkul comes in. You have to trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guiding you somewhere that is beneficial for you ultimately, right? Despite the ups and downs, you accept the fact that you need to move, and you keep putting one foot in front of the other, trusting Him with the journey, not trusting yourself, not trusting other people, but trusting Him without even seeing the entire road ahead. And make no doubt about it, on the journey to heeding your calling and living your purpose, there will be uncertainty. There will be uncertainty. But you have to trust that no matter what twists and turns you encounter, Allah is always guiding you. And to illustrate that point, I want to share a beautiful and comforting ayah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala found in Surah Al-Ankabut. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, "And those who strive in our cause, we will surely guide them to our paths. And indeed, Allah is with the doers of good." Whoever what? Whoever strives in our cause, we will do what? We will guide him to our paths. And what? Verily, He is with the doers of good. Now, we'll come back to that ayah in a moment. But for now, I want you to imagine for a moment that you are dropped in the middle of a jungle in a foreign country by yourself. And it's dark, there's strange noises, and you can't make out a clear path ahead of you. And even if you could, you don't know where it leads, where you're supposed to be going. And you just know that you can't stay here, right? You have to get somewhere safe. Now imagine that the trees overhead open up and a clear light descends, and the foliage in front of you starts to miraculously disappear, showing a clear path in front of you. How different is that from the situation that you were in before? How relieved would you be in that moment? How much more confident would you be moving forward? And as you continue to move and do good at each turn of this path, another portion of the path unfolds. And as you continue, you become more confident, you move faster, you get stronger as you get closer to your destination. Now, we have to understand that whether we're intentionally setting out on a path or intentionally choosing to answer a specific call, or we're just simply stumbling through life, not being intentional, we all need guidance. We all need guidance. Every day, with every small and large event, with every encounter, we need Allah's guidance, which is why we ask for it 17 times a day at least in Al-Fatiha in our Salah. And for every move that we make, there's multiple choices and paths that we can take, multiple options, right? No matter which turn we select, then more paths open up, right? We go this way, this opens up more options, and it just continues on and on and on. We're literally walking through a maze, and we need Allah's guidance to make it through. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about this in Surah Al-Fatir, ayat 19 to 21, not equal are the blind and the seeing, nor equal are the darkness and the light, nor are the shade and the scorching heat. On this journey, whether you're in Allah's pleasure or not, it matters. And this is the state of moving through the world, right? So, blindness and seeing. We want to, in this journey, be those who are in Allah's pleasure, so that He opens our eyes, so that we see what we need to see, and we see also what we need to be protected from. And we are granted His miracles and His guidance at each turn. We want to be guided by His light, have that instilled in our heart to grant us courage and focus and iman and taqwa. And we want to be receiving His shade and His mercy, not the scorching heat of His anger, His displeasure, and the resulting increase in our trials and punishment that would incur. So we have to embark upon this journey regardless. Whether we intentionally set out and choose to be the hero of our own story or not, we're all on a journey. Like every day that we live, we are on a journey. So why not embark on this journey of life, choosing the light? Now let's get back to the first ayah that I mentioned. For those who strive in Allah's cause, He will guide them to His paths. Now, this ayah is important for a number of reasons, and it's not only very comforting, but it's also very instructive and provides clear indicators for success. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises to guide who? Those who strive in His way. Not just anyone, not someone who is setting out for selfish reasons, not someone, Allah forbid, who's in pursuit of things that are forbidden or which are disliked by Allah. It's someone who understands the calling on their soul, someone who is clear on their purpose, who is willing to shape their life in a way that affirms their original witnessing, that affirms Allah as their Lord, that subjects themselves to His will and His pleasure, and to work to be proud of the deeds that they will present Him on Yom Qiyamah. Like this is the individual, one who strives in His way. Point one. Okay, so we have the type of person. And what does Allah Azza wa Jal do for them? He guides them to His ways. You cannot be lost if you are on the path of Allah. And the beautiful thing is that there are so many ways to work for Allah's pleasure within the halal and the sunnah. There is one sirat al-mustaqim, one path to Allah, but we are all coming to Him from different places, different levels, different backgrounds, ages, skill sets, and He in His mercy and His guidance will show you, He'll show me, He'll show each of us the next right steps in the journey, right? The journey specifically for you to gain closeness to Him and to live out your calling. So He, subhanAllah, will open up information and knowledge and opportunities that you didn't even know existed. He'll send resources and support from places you never imagined. He'll take you down certain paths and block you and protect you from certain other paths, all the while guiding you to Him and the actualization of your potential in His service. Also, at the end of the ayah, again, He reaffirms who gets this type of guidance, right? And it's the doers of good. Because you can't be striving in the lost cause unless you're doing good. You can't attribute anything that's not good or that's selfish or that's destructive or self-serving to the Lord of the worlds. So someone who is committed to striving in the lost cause in whatever way he decrees for them to use their skills, their talents, and their resources, they are guided along the path so it becomes less scary and more purposeful and fruitful. And in doing so and continuing along the journey, you're earning good through the process. You're becoming of the muhsinin, inshallah ta'ala, those who do good and act with excellence towards their Lord and their work. So my dear sister, if you have a dream in your heart, if you've been hearing the whispers of your soul calling you to your next adventure, I want you to hold tight onto this ayah, okay? I want you to ponder and reflect on each part of it and ask yourself, am I, with my thoughts, with my ideas, with my skills, with my talents, with my resources, with my energy, with my soul, am I striving in a lost cause? Am I striving in a lost cause? Also, do I feel that Allah is pleased with my actions? Do I feel that He's guiding me as a result to His paths, right? Is He opening up beneficial ways and means for me to accomplish my goals? Or am I being shut down at each turn? You want to really think about this. And in fulfilling this quest, in completing this journey, will the end result be that I can be counted by Allah, inshallah ta'ala, amongst the muhsinin, the doers of good, the ones who understand that we were placed here to be examples and leaders on this earth, representing our Lord and seeking His ultimate pleasure and leading others to His light? I love to hear your answers and your reflections in the comments. And inshallah ta'ala, I'll see you in the next installment. We'll be talking about the inevitable test that can come along with the journey and how to overcome them, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. I'll see you then, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
قد أفلح من زكاها